Hey guys, it's Erin. Congratulations, it's day 1 of the program. So good for you for taking that first step. Hopefully you've dry brushed today and you're combining properly and you took a look at that packet because it's full of juicy information and I want you to be really clear about what we're doing here. So today's video topic is food combining. You want to make sure you get the principles of this program down. So look through the packet, and then what I'm going to say is just going to reinforce the packet. Okay, alright, so digestion. You want to keep it simple. When you mix food groups, like let's say you have a big bowl of pasta and you add a bunch of cheese and meat to it, what that does is it tends to overload your system because you digest starches differently from dairy and meat. So your body creates a little bit more acid, it throws off the alkalinity, which we'll get to in another video, so don't worry about that word right now. So what happens is it complicates your digestion and things just take a little longer to digest than usual. What that leads to is waste, and waste equals weight. Waste also equals breakouts, depression, low energy, lack of zest for life, all these crappy things that we don't want. Okay, we want happy life, right? Lots of weight loss, lots of clear glowing skin. You want to feel good about yourself every day. So we want to keep digestion really simple. That does not mean giving up your favorite foods. It just means making better choices and eating them correctly. Okay, so the 4 basic food groups are, for our sakes and purposes, you have your starches. Okay, starches are your grains and your starchy vegetables like cooked butternut squash, cooked sweet potatoes, cooked corn. That's all a starch. Now the raw versions of those don't digest as starches. They actually digest as vegetables, which we'll get to in a little bit. So that includes also your starches, also include your rices, your pastas, your breads, etc. That's also going to include avocados. Even though they're a fruit, they technically digest as a starch. That's also going to include young coconuts. Young coconuts are the green coconuts, or you'll see them sometimes shaved and they look white, and their meat is translucent. So young coconuts digest as a starch. Okay, that's your starch category. Then you've got your flesh and dairy category. So this includes fish, meat, poultry, game. It's also include dairy, your yogurt, all of that. Pretty self-explanatory. Eggs. Eggs are also in this category. My bad. Okay, then you have your dried fruit and nut category. So that is going to be all of your dried fruits and all of your nuts and seeds and their butters. Now, dried fruit and nuts, you can also eat young coconuts. Even though they're in the starch category, they also can go into the dried fruit and nut category. And you can eat mature coconuts, which are those brown ones, and they're a little smaller. So those are dried fruit and nuts too. Then the 4th category is your fresh fruit category. Now, fresh fruit includes stone fruits, citrus fruits. It also includes things like bananas and melons. Now, the fruit category is special. It's the only one that you want to eat it completely alone and on an empty stomach. So what that means is fruit you're going to have in the morning on its own, or after a properly combined meal has left your stomach, which is after 3 hours. So fruit, it pulls up a lot of toxins and it flushes them right out. So you want to make sure you're on an empty stomach. It digests very quickly and it starts to ferment after about 30 minutes. So you want to eat your fruit all alone. You can eat you can eat it together, that's fine. Have melons with pineapples and bananas, great. Then wait 30 minutes before you eat anything else. Okay, with bananas you want to wait a little longer. You want to wait about 40 minutes with bananas. And about just 15 minutes with melons, because melons digest very quickly. But if you keep about the 30-minute rule for all the other fruits, you're good to go. Now, bananas and avocados are special in that they cross a couple of categories, like the coconut. Avocados digest as a starch, and they also digest with dried fruit, but not nuts. Okay? I don't want to lose you here. They digest with starches and dried fruit, but not nuts. Okay? So you could have a large avocado salad with some cranberries. Or you could have Well, let's get into bananas then, okay? So bananas can be eaten with avocados as well. Bananas, though, can be eaten... Okay, let me start that one over. I'm throwing myself off. Okay, bananas are special in that they can be eaten with the fruit, or they can be eaten with dried fruit and nuts. Now, so if you were to eat an avocado salad with cranberries, dried cranberries, you could also eat a banana. So avocados can be eaten with bananas when you eat them with dried fruit. Okay, I wrote this down in your packet. It's very tricky. So just my advice would be to keep a cheat sheet in your purse, in your pocket, so that you have it. So avocados, starches, and dried fruit. Bananas are fresh fruit or dried fruit and nut, and they can be eaten with avocados as long as you don't have starches in there. Okay? I'm going to move on, but if you need to re-watch that, go ahead. Okay, so you want to wait about 3 hours before you switch meals. Then there's these things called neutrals. Neutrals are foods that can be eaten with any category except for fruit, and they can also be eaten in between your categories. So while you're waiting the 3 hours, you can eat these as snacks as well. Okay, that's any kind of raw veggie, or any kind of cooked veggie that's not starchy, so like steamed broccoli or carrots, that's fine. 70% dark chocolate or more, wine, champagne. You can have seasonings and herbs and spices, and most condiments. Also your oils and lemon and lime juice fall under these categories. So that's all your neutrals. So in between, let's say you had for lunch, you had an avocado salad with a sweet potato. And then for dinner you plan on having fish with some steamed veggies. In between that, you can go ahead and munch on some olives and some carrots. You can also dip that in a little bit of some neutral dressing. And you can have some dark chocolate and a glass of wine in between. So pretty good snack, I think. So that's your neutral category. Okay, so that's it for now. That's just the food combining basics. You want to make sure you're keeping everything simple. You want to make sure that you're sticking to the probiotics, the Epsom salts, and the infrared and the foam rolling and yoga. All those practices are so important. I can't stress that enough. Often when you're detoxing, your cells start to get cleaner. It brings up a lot of toxins, and it wants to either break out through your skin if it's not flowing in bowel movements, okay? So if you start to notice breakouts, or if you start to notice a feeling in your throat or headaches or moodiness, that means your body is pulling up toxins and you're not eliminating them properly. So keep the dry brushing up. Keep the Epsom salt baths up. Listen to your body, okay? All that stuff is just going to help facilitate the detoxing. As you get cleaner and cleaner, you need to do it more and more. Okay, guys? All right. I think I said enough for today. I'll be back next week. Bye.